get better. So when you're envisioning this place, hold that. Thank you, gentlemen. So I have been thinking quite a bit about holding a vision. And what does that mean, and how do we do that? And what does that require of us? And I think what I'm experiencing in my life is that whenever I want to make a change, and there are some things I'm currently working on now, that I do need to hold a vision. I need to see something here that I can hold, something I can look to that says this is what I want to step into in my life in the future. And our unity teachings tell us that once we hold it in mind, that actually it has happened in pure potentiality. That whatever you envision has now happened because you turned it on. We turned it on by envisioning it. Turn it on. But holding it is a different matter. Holding that vision and honing that vision. Because it's okay for it to change. It's okay for that vision to morph and to have new life. But we have to be in the vision. We're the ones who have to turn on the spigot, so to speak. We're the ones who have to flip the switch. We're the ones who give it life. We are creators of our reality, of the lives that we want to live. And so when we're inspired for something greater, more expansive, and not greater as in where you are right now isn't good, because where you are right now is wonderful. And where you are right now is perfect for now. But I find in my life, because I endeavor always to be open to Spirit, and I nurture my relationship with Spirit through prayer and meditation, that Spirit is always calling me forward to something. Something more expansive. Something that's also my divinity, but deeper into my divinity, a deeper exploration into my divinity, a deeper expression of my divinity. And I've said before, there are some days that I don't know what that looks like. Because if you've never been there, you just don't have a frame of reference for what that is. But if we remain open, if we stay in the vision, then I find at times in my prayer and meditation again, that suddenly an idea or a different picture will show up. And sometimes I'm surprised at how it looks. Usually I'm surprised at how it looks. Because it's not something that I would have thought of. It's not something I'm comfortable with. In fact, most of the time, I'm really uncomfortable with the picture because it doesn't look anything like my life now, or the me that I see in that picture is not expressing like that, is not living like that. So metaphysics, which is the philosophy of unity, tells us that anything is possible. Anything. And yet we are only limited by our own ideas about us when it comes to that dream. Sometimes I'm inspired to a particular picture of me or my life, and then the rational me backs it up and says, yeah, that looks nice. But yeah, that doesn't look like me. I don't do that now. Or never thought I'd do that. Or heck no, I don't want to do that. Or I'll do some of that, but not all of it. And so I start editing that picture because of my fear and my doubt. That's why I love that song, Stronger. When I first heard that song, actually it was on an episode of Grey's Anatomy. And there was something about the song that hit me. That's the only way I learn about new music, is if I'm watching a movie or some episode of some show on TV, and I'll hear something, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling it here. And I'm breathing into the song, and as I'm hearing the song, I'm on my phone, and I have that app that'll listen to something and then tell you what it is, and so the lyrics. And so when I first heard that song, the lyrics started coming up in my app, and I'm looking at it, and then I feel myself getting a little choked up, and all of a sudden I got tears coming up. I think, oh my God, it's Grey's Anatomy. Get over it. All made up stuff, but for some reason the song is hitting me. Man, that song hit me, and it still does. And it's an interesting thing to sing it, because it hits on a different level when you sing something rather than talk through something, because your heart is all in it. And probably for the next 3 weeks after I first heard that song, of course I was downloading it before the song was out, and I would listen to it over and over and over again, and sing it and cry and sing it and breathe and sing it and choke up and can't get through some of the lyrics because it was hitting me here. So the fear and the doubt creeps into our stories, to those visions. And we start saying, no, 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 can't happen, can't happen. We start backing it up. We start editing it. No, I don't deserve it. No, I can't do that. No, I can't see myself doing that. No, 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 no. And yet, the vision stays. Vision. And I have visions of things that I know that I want to manifest in my life. And some of them are really important. Some of them are really important. I've decided that I don't want to follow what is the usual story about certain things in my life, about how the world deals with things. Because rationally, I know myself as an infinitely powerful spiritual being. Rationally, I know that. My heart sometimes lags behind and drags its feet, because we hear what the world says about things, whether it's your health, your relationships, about the state of this country, the state of the rest of the world, how much money you can or cannot make, how divided we are or not divided we are. So I find that my stories about me sometimes are predicated on the stories of the world. And if I'm going to manifest what I want, I have to separate myself from those stories. I have to acknowledge that, yes, this is how the world deals with this issue. But I want a different story. I want a different story. And then I have to figure out, what is that thing that I want in my life? Do I want more love? Do I want greater health? Do I want more fulfilling work? Do I want to heal a relationship? Do I want to be a light to the world rather than being a part of this consciousness of fear and doubt? a consciousness of hatred and division, of judgment? Can I separate myself from it long enough to form an image that takes me somewhere else and hold it even as the world spirals down? And it is work. And as I'm listening to the world, hearing the world, watching the world, I'm watching my own reactions to the world and the world's stories. And I'm watching when I start to devolve and mix and get into that, what the Fillmores called race consciousness, human race consciousness. And then I watch myself sometimes struggle to rise above that and to hold my vision again up here, up here. And so there's a lot of work involved. Consistency of holding the vision, of being able to see it and see it sometimes morning, noon, and night. And stopping myself from whatever I'm doing, the productivity of life, to just sit and be with the vision. Because anything you want to grow, anything that you want to enhance, anything you want to expand, we have to feed and nurture. It just doesn't happen. I wished it just happened because I wanted it. And sometimes I think there's a part of me asking, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? Can I stop watching an episode of whatever it is I'm watching to sit in meditation for 5, 10, 15 minutes? Can I get up earlier and spend time in prayer meditation, holding my vision, feeling what it would feel like to have that thing in my life here and now? And will I spend more time with it? And honestly, some moments, I think, no, I just want to watch my episode. And as I'm watching, I'm thinking, you could be holding the vision. What are you doing? What is it worth to you? Do you want it or not? Knowing that no one's going to bring it to me but me. Nobody's going to bring it but me. In conjunction with spirit, with this, the quantum field, as physicists called it. Divine love, divine consciousness, divine intelligence with God. Do you want to create your life with God? Create something else with God. And depending on what the God of your understanding is, are you creating it as God? If that's where you are in your understanding and in your spirituality. Can I hold this? And can I hold it long enough to be in actuality? And so we have these imaginations, which we are so wonderfully gifted at spiraling down into negativity. And all the reasons why it can't happen, won't happen, it's impossible, or it's impossible for us. That we've been unhappy too long. Love's not possible, or deep love's not possible. That you've been estranged from whomever for a long time, and they're not budging, and we're not budging, so it's never going to be healed. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. So we keep backing up, we keep backing up, we keep spiraling down. We keep going back and forth. We got to break the habit You've got to break the habit of what got us to where we are now. And breaking habits takes work, takes energy, takes consistency, takes awareness. And so lately, with some things that I want to manifest, I've just surrendered to them. Just surrendered. And I've stopped fighting what is and working on loving what I want. Because love attracts. Truly loving and spending time with what I want. And daring myself not to edit the dream. Because as I edit the dream, I discount what I say I believe about God and about this life. So that affirmation about being able to empower ourselves to do the greater things Jesus promised, that's what he's talking about. He said, greater things will you do than I have done. And yet we look at those things that Jesus did and we think, yeah, that's wonderful. And yeah, I'm not that. I'm not that. And so I get faced again with, do I believe that or not? And so I have to remind myself. I have to say. Sometimes I have to read the scripture again. Sometimes I have to say it in my head. Sometimes I have to say it out loud. Sometimes I need the song. Sometimes I need to sing it. Sometimes I need to cry something out. Sometimes I need to forgive myself for something because I say that because of that, I don't deserve X. And I have to work with that. That's part of the holding the vision. That's part of that process of letting things go that you don't want to moving towards something you want. Yes, sometimes we make mistakes. The good thing is, divine love, God has never put conditions on love and what you want. No conditions. None. None. No conditions. And I know some of you are thinking, say, yeah, I got a condition you don't know about. And I've been there. You know, those days that we're not proud of, those moments when we stumbled. Or weeks, or months, or years, where we lived in a way that we're not proud of, where we perpetrated something we're not proud of, and maybe someone has forgiven us, but we haven't forgiven ourselves. A good friend of mine was struggling with something, and she showed up. She had to go to a store and get something done, and ended up having a verbal altercation with the person who worked there, with the store clerk. And really, really was distraught about this. Because she prides herself or wants to be a certain way. She sees herself being in the world a certain way. And that's important to her integrity. And so as we were talking about it, she said, well, I'm trying to send him love because he showed up like he probably should not have shown up. If I were his manager, or fired, depending on how often he does this. So he also showed up out of alignment with who he truly is. And she said, well, I'm trying to send him love. I'm trying to see him as a child of God. And see him as light. And I said, yeah, I think that's important. But I think you need to see yourself as love and light also. Before you give him anything, you have to see yourself as love and light. And it'll be far easier to see him that way if you see yourself that way. And that's when she broke and cried. And she kept saying, but I said, there are no buts, there are no buts. She knows that rationally, but when she was in the moment, she forgot. And so now she's working on that. And it's taking time. I think this happened a week ago. She's still kind of in it. Still battling with that part of herself that snapped in a moment. Something triggered her. And so she's looking for, searching for, she's open for the information from Spirit about what that was and how do I heal that so I don't show up like that. Because she was in, reptilian brain just turned on and she was ready to fight back. And she did. And that's what we do. Something snaps inside and suddenly we are somebody else. Or somebody we used to be. We have work to do. I think this is our work, really our work, to see ourselves as that infinitely powerful spiritual being who is at our core love. No matter what. So if you need to work on the whats, the buts, the conditions, the stuff, work on it. All of us have to go to that dark place some days and work on those things that we need to heal so that we can show up the way that we want to show up in the world, so that we can use our gifts, so that we can be a light when we show up for others, even if they cannot. So our stories about ourselves, our stories about the world matter, but we have to work on them. We have to reframe them. We have to keep this vision. So even as she is struggling with that, even as I struggle with my own, I still have to hold a vision of me that is up here, or more expansive, that is not contracted, that is open, loving, patient, giving, understanding, curious rather than judgmental. Holding the vision, it takes work, folks. And just because we trip and fall, just because I watched the episode, or 3 or 4, instead of sitting in prayer or meditation, doesn't mean you're not on the road to what you want. It just means the road's going like this. Maybe it doubles back, circles back, goes someplace else. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. You're still on the path. Stuff happens. And it's okay. And you're still going there. So stop kicking yourself about not doing it perfectly, whatever the heck that means. Perfect is what it is right now, just as it is. That's perfection. Stay on the road, stay on the path, hold the vision, and every single time you get in it, let it expand. Let yourself feel what that's like. And when you hit it, you know, because you'll feel this overwhelming gratitude for that picture, for that thing that's happening, for you, as you are in that picture. Something will open up in you and you'll know you hit it. Because it'll move you, I believe. Because God in expression is motion, is emotion. God in expression is something that hits here. If you're still up here in your head about it, you haven't hit it. If you're still calculating, and you got bullets and numbers happening about what's going to happen when and everything, and you just got you're rationalizing things and thinking through it, you got to drop down from here to here, or in your gut. And it'll feel like something smacked you. Let yourself be open and let yourself keep going there. Don't drop it. You know, sometimes I'm running around, I'm doing something, I'm thinking about something, and all of a sudden I'm off on a tangent somewhere. I don't even know how I got there. I'm already in a tangent. I'm not holding the vision, but you got to practice that. It's that muscle, like lifting weights or learning to run a marathon or something like that. You've got to keep training and training and training your heart and your mind to be open and to keep seeing the vision and to keep expanding it despite what's going on in front of you. So even though it looks like the world's going to hell in a handbasket, you can hold a vision of peace and harmony in this world. Even if you have no energy every single day, or you've got prescription after prescription in the cabinet that you have to take every morning. There can be something different with your health later, but you have to hold that and hold it 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 till you see it. Till one prescription gets taken away, another one gets taken away, the next one gets taken away. It's all a process. It may take weeks, months, years. But hold it till you're living it. Let Spirit work on you. Let yourself work on you. We give up far too easily on most things. And part of being an infinitely powerful spiritual being is that you have the strength, the will, the power to do it. When you feel like you can't go on, there's more. When you feel like you're too tired, there's more energy. When you feel like you've loved more than you can possibly love, there's more love. When you feel like you've asked for everything you can ask for, because that's all you deserve, there are more dreams. There's always more in this infinite universe. There's always more. You just have to be willing to say yes. Yes, for me. You have to be willing to say thank you and be grateful for that, ahead of it showing up. You have to be willing to let go of what is now for what you want later. And it can all happen in an instant if your consciousness is there. It doesn't have to take a year or two. It can happen here, but your consciousness has to match that energy. That in itself is an exploration. And as you move along through these processes, you'll discover more of God and of yourself. And what could be better Because if God is love, then there is more love than your heart could possibly conceive of or hold possible in this life. And that's what keeps me on the road. That's what keeps me dreaming. Let's take this in a meditation. So what is it you dream of? Or what is it that you've banished from your mind and dare not dream because you've told yourself you either don't deserve it or it can't possibly happen? What are the things you've given up on? Or what are the things you're reluctant to let go of because you feel stuck? Or you've been in it too long and you can't possibly conceive of what it would take to change it. Have you become more familiar with the devil you know? Than the dream that you dream? So you're just sitting comfortable, yet dissatisfied, yet hurting. Not loving life, not loving yourself, not loving someone else fully. Or you're just so used to eking by. That you dare not imagine what it would feel like to be free, to be able to do what you want, when you want, the way you want to do it. Have you tired of kicking yourself? And are you willing to just metaphorically put that foot down and stop kicking? What do you want? What's the vision of your life you've been inspired to dream, to have, to hold, to be? And will you allow yourself to see it and hold it? And hold it again and again and again. How deep do you believe God's love is? And does your picture of yourself match that love? Does the picture of who you are radiate love? And are you willing to let that love overflow into your life, into your expression, into every single area of your life? Without reservation. Without editing. Without putting conditions on God and God's power. As I say many times, we only have to crack open the door. God always meets us exponentially where we are. And as wonderfully as you can dream something, it'll show up more wonderfully than you imagined. As happy and as joyful as you feel picturing it, there will be more joy, more happiness. When you realize that what you've dreamed of all this time is happening right here, right now, on the physical plane. Just open a bit. And let that light shine through the crack in the door. Let yourself bathe in that light. Feel its warmth. Believe its promises. Celebrate the manifestation, knowing that it is already done in pure potentiality, and we have only to hold it. You have only to hold the dream in your mind for it to come to fruition. So just breathe into that. Let yourself relax in it. Let yourself have it. Hold it again and again and again. Let yourself have the emotion. Let yourself Forgive yourself. Discover a new you in God. And perhaps a new God in you. Let's take a deep breath together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Just relax. There's nothing to do. You only have to allow. Allow God to work through you and as you. Allow God to use that power and might through you and as you. Say yes every single time Spirit nudges you. Just say yes. For that is love in action. Love in action. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.